Hey, and welcome to this video in which I share my top 10 jazz standards in 3/4, ones to play, best ones to learn. And my list is made up of tunes which are either fun to play, have really strong melodies, or, they're very iconic 3/4 tunes. As ever with these kind of lists, if there's a song you think I've missed out, then leave me a comment. So, in no particular order, at number 1, Someday My Prince Will Come. This tune is from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Now, jazz versions I recommend checking out Miles Davis, Oscar Peterson, and Bill Evans. I like this one because it has a really catchy melody. I really like the movement in the chords and the use of the dominant sharp 5. At number 2, Henry Mancini's Moon River. Now, the melody to this tune for me is one of the greatest melodies of all time for me personally. I think what appeals to me about this tune, it's very melancholic. I really like the movement in the chords. There's some nice inversions. And it's just beautiful melody, and I like the sentiment of the words too. I believe it's one of the most recorded songs of all time. Guitar-wise, I really like the simplicity of Barney Kessel's version on the Breakfast at Tiffany's album. At number 3, we have Toots Thielemans' Bluesette. Toots was a Belgian guitarist and harmonica player, probably better known for his harmonica playing. Cool things about this one, again, a simple melody that is very catchy. It's got a really interesting link to the chords to blues for Alice, the Charlie Parker tune. So, compare those two and you'll hear similarities in the way the chords move, which goes some way to explaining the name of the tune. Odd random fact about Toots. It was a picture of Toots on some marketing literature of Rickenbacker guitars that inspired John Lennon to get a Rickenbacker. I think he remarked, "Oh, if it's good enough for Toots, it's good enough for me," which is odd. At number 4, one of my favourite guitar players, Borelli Legren, and his composition Made in France. This is really a waltz in the gypsy jazz kind of vein. He's made 3 recordings of this, I believe, all worth listening to. The most recent one, I think, from maybe, I want to say about 2011-12, with Honno Winterstein on rhythm, absolutely killing it. He did one with Sylvain Luc, who plays this incredible bass line underneath the melody. And I think the original version dates back to the early 90s, 91 I think, and that's quite different to his later versions, but worth listening to too. At number 5, another one from a Disney film, Alice in Wonderland, and this is often favoured by pianists. Check out versions by Bill Evans and Oscar Peterson. At number 6 is a composition by a guitarist, and it is Wes Montgomery's West Coast Blues. At number 7, Jitterbug Waltz by Fats Waller. I think this is from 1942, and I believe it's the first recording ever of a Hammond organ. At number 8 is Django's Waltz, or sometimes referred to as Montagne Sainte-Geneviève. I think it's hard not to think of the European contribution to jazz when we're talking about the waltz. And I think waltzes are much more prominent in the kind of gypsy jazz manouche style. The interesting thing about this song, there is some kind of element of uncertainty as to whether Django wrote it. I mean, he was a prolific recorder, did so many recordings that we've got, thankfully, of him, but there's no recording of this, but allegedly it is his composition. I believe the first recording is by Matelot Ferry, but correct me if I'm wrong if you know in the comments. It's a beautiful melody in the A section in E minor, then it moves to the relative major of G major for this insane B section. In terms of gypsy jazz waltzes, I find quite often they're very, very heavily arpeggio-led. Maybe not sometimes as melodic as some of the other ones out there, but great fun to play on the guitar. At number 9, A Child Is Born by Thad Jones. Now, this has a beautifully simple melody, and versions I suggest listening to, Kenny Burrell's version, and again, Oscar Peterson. And finally, at number 10, Emily, written by Johnny Mandel and I think lyrics by Johnny Mercer. This is a tune which has some really interesting harmonic moves. Versions to check out. I think Bill Evans really got into this tune in a big way, Paul Desmond, and the fantastic guitar player Lenny Brow as well. So that was my 10 favourite jazz standards to play and good ones that I think are to learn. And listen to those and I think you agree there's some fantastic melodies and chord progressions in there. But I might have missed off one of your favourites, so if there's something missing, you let me know, and if it's a song I don't know, I'll be keen to check it out. I have to hold my hands up and say I've really neglected jazz in 3/4 on my channel. So coming up this month, we're going to have a deep dive into this area of playing, because it's fun, it's different, and if you're playing in a band or a jam, it's nice to break up a set, the feel of a set, with a 3/4 tune amongst your typical 4/4 tunes. So I'm going to go through some basics in terms of how to play rhythm guitar in 3/4, rhythms for soloing. And then we're also taking a look at 3 of those standards. We're taking a look at Someday My Prince Will Come, Bluesette, and Moon River. So stay tuned for those this month. As ever, let me know if you've got any questions, any comments. Jazz guitar lessons every Wednesday and Saturday. Thanks so much for joining me. Until next time, you take care.